Lane 5, Haritha Fangila. Lane 6, Autumn Keats O'Connor. And lane 8, Liv Davison. And we're off here on the 100-yard breaststroke. So much technique goes into the breaststroke. The swimmers are okay. And coming down the stretch here in the 100-yard breaststroke. Oh, it's going to be a very close finish. And coming in first, we're going to have Henrietta Fangali, the freshman out of University of Houston. And in second place, we're going to have Christina Williams out of Tulane. And in third, Audrey McKinnon, the junior out of University of Houston. Great race. Back on the diving side, that was Chase Ferris out of University of Houston posting a very high score of 63 with another electric dive there. Gets the fist pump from the head coach. Way to go there. Here in event 6, the women 200-yard butterfly. Out in lane 3, we have Marina Ortega. Lane 4, we have Maya Paradras. Lane 5, we have Abby Jackson. Lane 6, we have Kata Marr. Lane 7, Abby Alvarez. And lane 8, Gianna Spermillo. As they continue to race here, still we have a diving going on the other end. That was just Paige McKenzie with another great dive. Posted a score of 54.60. Nice tuck there. Here's Hedda Grails, University of Houston. Couldn't quite get the splash she wanted there. Score of 23.10. And on the 200-yard butterfly, we get ready to come down a final stretch, almost halfway through. University of Houston versus Tulane here in the swim meet. Here we go, coming down the stretch for the 200-yard butterfly. Who's going to take first place? And, oh man, that's going to come down to the tenths of the seconds. Tulane University's Maya Paradras is going to come in first. And in a very close second, we're going to get University of Houston's Abby Jackson. What a great race there. Came down to the tenths of a second. Thus far, we're in the 5th round of the dive. Here's Josie Graves out of University of Houston. As we introduce the women 50-yard freestyle here, this is going to go real fast. We have in lane 3, Alyssa Blauser out of University of Houston, Elena McKean out of Tulane, Rachel Hicks out of University of Houston, Reese Duncanberger out of Tulane, and Anna Irvin also out of University of Houston. Very quick race here in the 50-yard freestyle. Touch it and come back. First place at University of Houston in lane 5 is going to be Rachel Hicks with a 24-second flat time. Very close to her personal best, 23.38, just a hair off. So we're moving very rapidly here. Emily Waters out of University of Houston, next to dive. Another smooth dive there for Emily. A score of 48.30. That's her 5th dive of the day. Back on the swimmer side, the swimmers are going to warm down a little bit before we start the next event, the 100-yard freestyle. But as the swimmers warm down, we're going to continue on here on the diving side. Here out of Tulane University is Gabrielle Herbert. And a score of 43.13 there for Gabrielle. So far, our highest scores, right? Chase Ferris on the diving board right now is in first place with a total of 240.38. In second place, we have Waters, also out of University of Houston, with a score of 236.63. And in third place, we have Graves, also out of the University of Houston, with a score of 234.15. Here's Chase Ferris trying to keep her first place in the diving competition. Ferris Chase been smooth all day. Another smooth pike there with a score of 49.50. Wow, great dive there from Chase Ferris. Up next, Paige McKenzie out of Tulane University. This will be her 5th dive of the day. Paige trying to crack into the middle. Nice dive there from McKenzie. And she's going to get a score of 43.50. Here's Hida Grales out of University of Houston. Hida Grales with a total score of 192 thus far. Trying to add on an inch closer to medaling here. There's a twist with a score of 54.60. And that will put her in third place. Big dive there from Hedda Grease. Up next, Anna Berman out of Tulane University. This is her fifth dive. Anna with a total score of 161.70. And that was a forward pike there with a score of 40.95. Swimmers continue to warm down. We have on a diving board here in Jolie Blodgett out of University of Houston. This will be her sixth and final dive. So far, she has a score of 199.88. See if she can make this best dive of the evening. And a twist. A score of 44.10. Up next is Katie Lipsey out of Tulane University. Quickly dives in with a twist. Nice score of 45. Here's Josie Graves for our final dive of the afternoon. Graves right now with a total score of 234.15. Formerly in that top three. Try to have a nice dive to medal here. With a nice twist as well with a score of 46.80. And that will currently move her into third place. Right now, Chase Ferris have created such a nice cushion for herself. Up next out of Tulane University, this is Avery Francis. Total score of 213.23. And a smooth dive there. Nice score of 36. Next up, we have Emily Waters. So far, a total score of 236.63. Her final dive of the afternoon. She will attempt a tuck here. Tuck there. Oh, very high score, 65.10. That's going to put Amelia Waters over the 300 mark, 301.73. Here's Gabrielle Herbert out of Tulane. She's going to attempt a twist. Nice score, 48.75. Here we are with Chase Ferris. She's been holding on to first place throughout the diving competition. Attempt a twist pike here. Oh, that was nice. Wow. Wow, a score of 67.50. The aerodynamics, very acrobatic. What a dive there from Chase Ferris. And that will put her comfortably in first place, a score of 357.38. Here is Paige McKenzie out of Tulane. She's going to attempt a twist of her own, and she's going to get a diving score of 48.60. Ms. Hida Grails, total score 246.60. She's going to need a nice score here. She's going to attempt a tuck. And she's going to get a score of 48.60. Here we are for the final dive of the afternoon. It's Anna Berman out of Tulane University here with a score of 202.65. Here's Anna. She's going to take a twist. Nails it. Nice dive there from Anna out of Tulane. She's going to get a total score of 46.80, and that would do it for your diving competition. First place out of University of Houston is Chase Ferris. Total score at 357.38. Second place out of Tulane University is Paige McKenzie with a score of 304.50. And in third place, Amelia Waters with a score of 301.73. Nice dive, ladies. As we wait for the continuation of the swimming competition, the ladies will continue to warm down. And when we do come back, we have the women's 100-yard freestyle here on Max Sports TV. As we get ready for our next event here, this is event number 9. We're going to have the women's 100-yard freestyle out in lane 1. We have Anna Irvin, sophomore out of University of Houston. Lane 3, Rachel Hicks out of University of Houston. Lane 4, Jennifer Gaugman out of Tulane. Lane 5, we have Catherine Chirika, freshman out of University of Houston. Lane 6, we have Riley Hendricks out of Tulane. Lane 7, Alyssa Blosser out of University of Houston. And lane 8, Eleanor McMean out of Tulane University. As we get ready for the women's 100-yard freestyle. And we're off here at the 100-yard freestyle. After taking a break, the swimmers got an opportunity to warm down, keep their bodies active, as we have a few more events to go here at the meet. As we halfway through, still a very close race. Out in front, that's over in lane 7 out of University of Houston. That's Alyssa Blosser with the lead. And oh man, this is going to come down to the tenths of the seconds as well. In first place, in lane 5, going to get Mary Catherine Chirika out of University of Houston, coming in with a time of 51.91.1. And that's going to give her the first place medal. As we get ready for our next event, we have the women 200-yard backstroke. Out in lane 1, we have Emma Wright out of University of Houston, the freshman. Lane 2, Maddie Wallman, sophomore at the University of Houston. Lane 3, Katie Power out of University of Houston. Lane 4, Danielle Titus out of Tulane. Lane 5, Julia Kaloch out of University of Houston. Lane 6, Gianna Spermillo out of Tulane. Lane 7, Kelly Rollison out of University of Houston. And lane 8, Maya Dross Pera out of Tulane. This is a 200-yard backstroke, and we're off here in the water. Slow glide through. The backstroke also takes a lot of technique, a lot of practice, yet a lot of confidence as well. As we're halfway through so far, out in front in lane 4, that's Danielle Titus out of Tulane. As we're going to come down to the finish, looks like Danielle Titus is going to take this one. And she does with a time of 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Coming in second out of University of Houston is Katie Power with a time of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And in third place out of University of Houston, we're going to have Julia Kaloch, just a junior. Great job. Next up, we have the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Starting out lane 3, we're going to have Hannah Escopinto, senior out of University of Houston. Lane 4, Christina Williams out of Tulane. Lane 5, Sophie Anderson out of University of Houston. Lane 6, Autumn Keats O'Connor out of Tulane. Lane 7, Marina Ortega. And lane 8, Liv Davison out of Tulane. Again, this is a 200-yard breaststroke. And we're off. I never really competed in swimming competitions, but I had to swim a lot. I was in the Navy, so just if anyone anyone that's watching, my question is, when they dive, go underneath the water, how long do you want to be underneath the water? Like, does that play a role, or do you want to try to come up quicker or anything like that? Thank you. I see some divers, they stay in the water for longer periods than others. As we're almost through the 200-yard breaststroke. As we get ready to finish off here, the 200-yard breaststroke. And first place, that's Christina Williams out of Tulane University, coming out with the gold. Up next, we have the 500-yard freestyle, a test of endurance. Here in lane 1, freshman Lauren Cheney out of University of Houston. Lane 3, Abby Jackson out of University of Houston. Lane 4, Noah Heron out of Tulane. Lane 5, Laura Marin Garcia out of University of Houston. Lane 6, Lily Burney out of Tulane. Lane 7, Elizabeth Richardson out of University of Houston. And lane 8, Isa Pelka out of Tulane. "20 laps here. And we're off. Shortly, we're going to start the women's 1 meter championship, 6 dives. We're going to have Chase Ferris leading off, followed by Avery Francis of Tulane. Then we have Emily Waters out of University of Houston, Gabrielle Herbert out of Tulane, Josie Grays out of University of Houston, Anna Berman out of Tulane, Hita Grills out of University of Houston, Paige McKenzie out of Tulane, Jolie Blodgett out of University of Houston, and Katie Lipsey out of Tulane University. And that is for the 1 meter dive here coming up shortly. We got some impressive splits on a 500-yard freestyle. 30.57 there at the University of Houston. That's Martin Garcia. Very impressive. As we get closer to the final lap here on the 500-yard freestyle, you hear the bell as the athletes coming down the final stretch here. And it's going to be a very close finish. Wow. Very impressive splits down that final lap. Out in first place by the smallest of tenths of second in lane 6. That's going to be Lily Burney out of Tulane. Very impressive time of 5 minutes there. Also in second place out of University of Houston, that's going to be Laura Martin Garcia. And in a very close third, that is Abby Jackson out of University of Houston. Next up here, we have the women 100-yard butterfly. Lane 1, we have Marina Ortega out of University of Houston. Lane 2, we have Henrietta Fangley out of University of Houston. We have Shayla Erickson out of University of Houston. Sam Crew out of Tulane. Abby Alvarez out of University of Houston. Maya Paradrost out of Tulane. Audrey McKinnon out of University of Houston. And Reese Duckenberger out of Tulane. Here we are with the 100-yard butterfly. Here we are coming down the stretch here. First place is going to go to lane 1. That's going to be Marina Ortega out of University of Houston with a time of 55.94. Very impressive there from Marina Ortega. And they're going to have another 15-minute warm down here for the athletes. And we will resume the swim part of this meet at 3:25. As the divers continue to warm up, get ready for the 1-meter dive here very shortly. Still warming up. Getting ready for their 6 dives here. All of them put on very impressive performances on a 3-meter dive. Now they're going to try to look for the 1-meter dive. Here we are in. This is Chase Ferris, who came in first place in a 3-meter competition. Very high score. She's going to attempt a score of 46.80. Up next is Avery Francis out of Tulane University. She's going to attempt a tuck. And she's going to get a score of 39.60. Up next, we have Amelia Waters. She's also going to attempt a pike. Oh, smooth dive there from Amelia. And she's going to get a very nice score of 46.58 there. She's going to keep Chase Ferris in first place. Up next, we have Gabrielle Herbert out of Tulane. She's also going to attempt a pike here. Oh, smooth in the water. Very little splash there. And she's going to get a score of 43.20. Up next, we have Josie Graves out of University of Houston. Also dived very well in a farmer diving competition. She's going to attempt a free twist. And a score of 40.95 there. Up next, we have Anna Berman out of Tulane University. And she's also going to attempt a twist, a freestyle twist. And another nice dive there. And she's going to get a score of 39.38. Up next, we have Hayda Grales out of the University of Houston. This will be a first dive from the 1 meter. Oh, very nice dive there. Very little splash. Very high score, 52.20 there for Miss Grales. Up next, here's Paige McKenzie out of Tulane University. Nice dive there from Paige. Gets the applause from her teammates. Oh, very good score there for Paige, 46.80. And that's going to put Paige in third place currently. Next up, we have Jolie Blodgett out of the University of Houston here. Nice dive there. She's going to get a score of 48.60. That's going to tie her with Chase. And that's going to put them both in second place. Up next, we have Katie Lipsy out of Tulane here. And she's going to attempt a tuck. Very nice tuck there from Katie. See what the judges say. 41.40 there from Katie. Now we'll do it for the first round of competition here on the diver side. Here's Chase Ferris up for a second attempt. She's currently tied in second place. Chase Ferris came in first place in the first diving competition. Looks to do the same here. Forward Pike, and she's going to get a very nice score there, 58.50. Wow. Chase does it again. Up next is Avery Francis out of Tulane University. Very tough act to follow here for Avery. There's a back pike there, 34.50. Next up, we have Amelia Waters, who's going to attempt a forward tuck. Great form, little splash. That was a very good dive there. She's going to get a really good score, 48.60. And that's going to help Amelia Waters move up the rankings. Next up, Gabrielle Herbert, forward tuck. And she's also going to put up a nice score of 45 there. Next up is Josie Graves out of University of Houston. She's also going to attempt a forward pike as well. Very nice dive. She's going to get a very good score, 44.85 there. Next up, we have Anna Berman out of Tulane University. Anna is also going to attempt a forward pike as well. Down on the swimmer side, as the swimmers are done warming down, they're getting ready for the event 15, the women's 200-yard IM. Out in lane 2 is Kate Amar. Lane 3 is Sophie Anderson. Lane 4 is Gianna Spermillo. Lane 5 is Abby Alvarez. Lane 6 is Autumn Keats O'Connor. Lane 7 is Adelaide Mutor. And lane 8 is Christina Williams. As the divers continue to get their dives in here at the competition. That was Grells with a nice score of 54.60. Very nice forward tuck there. As we get ready, and we're off here for the women 200-yard IM. Ladies try to pace themselves through the water here. Smooth transition on the turnaround there on the first lap. All the time you put in practice, paying off of competitions like this. As University of Houston and Tulane thus far been neck and neck in a lot of meets, and the competition on the diving board has been very tight as well. As the divers continue to dive here. That was Chase Ferris' third dive. And she's going to get a score of she has a total score of 105.30. And she's currently still in second place behind Hida Grails out of University of Houston with a score of 106.80. So it has been very impressive here on a one meter dive. As the swimmers continue to ramp up here on a 200-yard IM. You hear teammates, coaches pushing them, trying to get them to get their best time possible, as we have a very close race. Is going to come down to lane 4 and 5, University of Houston and Tulane. Who's is going to be? Ooh, my eyes couldn't tell on that one. They're going to give it to lane 4 out of Tulane. That's going to be Gianna Spermillo, just a sophomore, coming in first place. But in second, Abby Alvarez, the freshman out of University of Houston. What a great race. As we get ready for the 400-yard freestyle relay. Out in lane 3 for University of Houston, they're going to have Laura Marin Garcia, Keely Rollison, Elizabeth Richardson, and Alyssa Blazer. In lane 4 for Tulane, we're going to have Lily Burney, Noah Heron, Sam Crew, and Isa Pelka. In lane 5, we're going to have University of Houston, Mary Catherine Jerica, Rachel Hicks, Emma Wright, and Katie Power. Lane 6 is going to be represented by Tulane, Eleanor McMean, Danielle Titus, Riley Hendricks, and Jennifer Gugman. In lane 7, University of Houston, Abby Jackson, Anna Irvin, Lauren Cheney, Shayla Erickson. Again, we're getting ready for the women 400-yard freestyle relay. The relay competition, it's about teamwork, everyone working together for the common goal. You love to see it here, and we're off, and the divers are in the water. Back on the diving side of things, here we are with Josie Graves getting ready to dive here. Thus far, Josie Graves, her first 2 dives, gave her a total score of 85.80. She's getting ready to attempt an inward pike. Very successful inward pike there with a very high score of 52.20. Wow, nice dive. That's what you want to see. As the relay teams continue to swim on the other end as the second heat is in the water. You can see the transition and some of these splits times are, again, very impressive. Lane 5 from University of Houston had a split of 24.90. That's second leg. Rachel Hicks, very impressive split there. Here, back on the diving side, we have Paige McKenzie, who's been doing very well here. She has a total of 93.60. She's getting ready to attempt her third dive of the day. And that was a backwards pike. Good landing there, 44.85 there. Next up, we have Jolie Blodgett out of University of Houston. And Jody has a total of 99.30. See if she could accumulate a little bit more points here. Back on the relay side, we have the third leg in for each lane. And the competition still very tight, very close, not too much separation. And the fourth and final leg getting in the water now. Each school pushing their represented lane, trying to get them to do the best they possibly can, encouraging them, giving them whatever energy they need, whatever encouragement they need to push. As we come down that final lap here, you can hear the Tulane side. You can hear the Cougar side. Everyone's cheering, pushing. Oh, it's going to be a tight one again. And in first place in lane 5 for University of Houston, they're going to have a total time of 3:25.29. In a very close in second, Tulane University with a time of 3 minutes and 28 seconds. And in lane 3, third place, a total time of 3 minutes and 28 seconds, 0.74, just 0.8 slower than Tulane there. Just a small differences. That's why you hear so much encouragement, because just that fraction of a time makes a difference, and that little bit of encouragement might be what that swimmer needed to get them past that point. As the divers continue to dive here, we are in our fourth dive as we get ready for Amelia Waters out of University of Houston. She's been diving very well, total score of 141.38. Not the splash or the landing she wanted, but still a very nice score of 46.80. And that's going to wrap up the swimming portion of the swim meet. That's the fourth dive for Herbert. As we see nice sportsmanship shown by Tulane and University of Houston. Great swim meet, great competition. Both schools did a great job of representing their athletic department. We love to see it here. But we still have some diving to go. Here's Josie Grace out of University of Houston. So far, a score of 138. She's going to attempt a backward pike here. A very smooth landing in the water. She's going to get a score of 37.95. Probably not the landing she wanted, but she's going to continue. She's going to have a couple more diving attempts to try to get better. Very quickly is Berman going off the diving board. She's going to get a score of 34.65. And on the swim side, the swimmers warm down. That's very important. As you see in the breaks between swimmers, it's good to keep their bodies warm. That's a lot of swimming, a lot of strain on their muscles. And these coaches doing a good job keeping these swimmers warming down in the pool, keeping their bodies in the pool. And on our diving side, we just had a very high score, 50.4. That was posted by Hetty Grills, who's currently in first place. She's been diving very well here in the 1 meter diving competition. Up next here is Mackenzie out of Tulane. Nice reverse pike there. She's going to get a score of 46.80. Up next, we're going to have Jolie Blodgett at University of Houston. She has a total score of 140.70. Reverse pike, great landing, good score, 48.660. And that's going to move her up the leaderboards. Grail is comfortably in first place. Up next, we're going to have Katie Lipsy out of Tulane University for a fourth dive. And another nice dive there. A good score of 46.80. We're going to go back to the top here. This is Chase Ferris out of University of Houston. She's going to attempt a forward twist. Oh, nice. She's going to get a score of 33. Up next, we have Amelia Waters. Yeah. Amelia Waters, a backwards pike, nice landing. Great score, 44.85 there for Waters. Nice dive. Up next, Gabrielle Herbert out of Tulane. Nice dive there from Gabrielle. A reverse pike, score of 37.80. That's going to push her total to 175.95. Here's Josie Graves up with her fifth dive of the day. A reverse tuck there from Miss Graves, and she's going to get a score of 37.80. That pushed her total to 213, comfortably in second place there for Miss Graves. Up next here we have Miss Berman out of Tulane University. She's going to attempt a inward pike. That was very nice there. Score of 39.60. Here's Hada Grails, again out of University of Houston. Shout out to the lifeguards here at the University of Houston. Making sure the swimmers are always safe. I know it's a very tough job to do, keeping everyone safe, looking out for everyone's protection. And they do it very well here at the University of Houston. Houston currently five straight years of AAC swimming competition champions. That is just impressive. That's just dominant here at the University of Houston. 5 straight years of being conference champs. You know they're looking to go to the Big 12 and do the same. Here we go. It's Jolie Blodgett here. Forward twist free. And she's going to get a score of 41.25. Up next here we have Katie Lipsy. Forward twist. Decent score of 44.55. Back up top here for the final dive for the 1 meter championship here. This is Chase Ferris. She came in first place on the 3 meter dives. Now it's our opportunity to try to medal again here in the 1 meter dive. And a backward twist there from Ferris. That's going to give her a score of 46.88. And that's going to push her total to 245.33. It's going to be see if she can hold on to this top 3. That was Avery Francis with a forward twist. And up next, we have Amelia Waters here. She's going to attempt a reverse 1.5 pike. Very nice dive there. That was Amelia Waters, smooth. See what the judges say. Oh, they're going to reward her with that one, 59.540. And that's going to put her comfortably in first place with a total of 293.43. What a dive there from Amelia Waters. Up next, we have Gabrielle Herbert out of Tulane University. She's going to attempt a backward 2.5 twist. And she's going to get a score of 44.55. Up next here, this is Josie Grays out of University of Houston. She's been doing very well here at the 1 meter dive board. Very athletic. She has great control of her body in midair. She's nursing a little her ankle there, but it's not bothering her thus far. Here we go. Back 1.5 twist. Total score 43.13, and that's going to move her comfortably in second place with a total of 256.88. Up next, here's Berman out of Tulane University, forward half twist. And she's going to get a total score of 33. This Hida Grills out of University of Houston. Grills had a very impressive time here on our last dive. Impressive score. And let's see what the judges give her here. That's going to give her a 48.75. And that's going to move Grills into second place. Wow. Every dive matter here coming down the stretch. Up next is Paige McKenzie. She's been doing very well, getting better each dive. So she's nursing her right ankle here. Hasn't bothered her yet. That's a backward half twist. And that's going to get her a score of 45 here. Up next is Jolie Blodgett out of University of Houston. Now, she has a great opportunity to move herself in the top 3 here. Right now, sitting at a score of 230.55. She needs a 45. If my math is right, they at least come in second. Excuse my math there. Here she goes. Backward, 1.5 twist. 46.88. That's going to move her into second with a total of 277.43. Key dive there. And last but certainly not least, here is Katie Lipsey with the final dive of the afternoon here for Tulane University. She's going to attempt a backward 2.5 twist. Here's Katie. Nice dive there from Katie. Didn't get the landing she wanted, but still put up a good score of 42.53. Great dive for everyone involved. In first place is going to be Amelia Waters out of University of Houston. In second place, we're going to have Jolie Blodgett, also out of University of Houston. And in third place, Hida Grills, also out of University of Houston. Great job to everyone involved here in the swimming competition. As that's going to wrap things up here at the University of Houston versus Tulane swim meet. Great job, great dive. Thank you for everyone joining us here on Max Sports TV. Be sure to tune in on Max Sports. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you to University of Houston for having us. We're signing off. Peace and love, everyone. You guys have a great day.